Hari Om everyone. Welcome to this class on Purusha Sukta. We will start with the chanting first. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Gam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannuti Visid Sadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः chant this sutta is not available here. 98. Yeah. I'll just chant from the beginning itself. Om तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये देवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शं नो अस्तु द्विपदे शं चतुष्पदे ओम शांति 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 ओम सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपात् स भूमिं विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलम् पुरुष एवेदगं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् उतामृतत्वस्येषानः यदन्नेनातिरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा अतो ज्यायागश्च पूरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वाभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादूर्ध्व उदयत्पुरुषः पादोऽस्येह भवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामत् साचनानशने अभि तस्माद् विराड जायत विराजो अधिपुरुषः स जातो अत्यरिच्यत पश्चात् भूमिमथो पुरः यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देवा यज्ञमतन्वत वसन्तो अस्यासीद्याजम् ग्रीष्म इद्म शरद हविः सप्तास्यासन् परिधयः त्रिसप्तः समिदकृताः देवा यद्यज्ञं तन्वानाः अबध्नन् पुरुषं पशुं तैयज्ञं बर्हिषि प्रोक्षन् पुरुषं जातमग्रतः. So we are looking at the Virat Purusha and his connection to ourselves, how we have to interact and how we have to establish our oneness with him so that that oneness opens up our vista or our view to a larger uh, feeling of ourselves, to a larger conception of ourselves as one with that infinite reality, Brahman, one with that unconditioned consciousness, unconditioned Purusha. Right. So this Purusha is unconditioned, yet has the power to take up all conditionings that we saw in that he takes up a reflection. He forms a reflection of himself in this srishti, through which he then enters through his conscious essence, and then he runs it. Without consciousness, nothing can function. So that functional part we have seen. How we can relate to it, that we saw as how we can touch chetan ka sparsh, how we can touch that reality that touch can happen only when we realize their oneness with it. Until that realization is not there, our touch will always be through an intermediary, right? So first intermediary we saw was Sparsh will be through the sense organs. Huh? So Sparsh is not this Sparsh Indriya, just this Sparsh Indriya. We can touch the reality or we can experience the reality by all our five sense organs. So चेतन का जो स्पर्श है, the touch will first connect with the external object through our sense organs, and that will then connect back to the mind. Then the mind will connect back to the finally the ahankara, the aham vritti. So that aham vritti I have to broaden. That should be my target. No? I have to merge that ahankara, that aham into that broad oneness. So if I can do that oneness, then it will be in the, as we saw earlier, that in the form of a abhinna, non-different from that oneness. So as long as we see ourselves separate from that, then we will be able to experience, we will be able to connect to that Lord. If there is Shraddha, through our Shraddha, we can, even talk to the Lord. If you have any murti, you regularly worship, that connection happens. And through that connection, you can communicate. So he reveals so many things to you. So I had my murti here earlier. And so talking about samskaras, yeah, I used to do my puja here for so long. Now, after the library was renovated, it shifted the murti vigraha to the other temple. We have another mandir room. So now, whenever I come here, by habit, I take off my slippers outside this room. It happens automatically. So that is what our relationship with the Lord, how it happens. How it builds up samskaras within us, so that our touch brings some beauty to our lives whenever we connect with it. But the total connection will not be there till we realize that oneness. So that is what we have to finally seek, our oneness with that Param Purusha, that Virat Purusha. First level will be Virat Purusha only, then we can go there. So how does it happen? How does that oneness happen with the Virat Purusha? We call it Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana. We use this in the Mahavakya also. So what is this Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana? We use this to negate the temporary part and hold on to the eternal part. So when I'm looking at this Bhagtyag, what will I apply it? I apply it to what is Mahavakya leading us? Jivatma, Paramatma, Ekyam. Oneness between individual and the total. So for that to happen, what do I seek first? What is the essence? The essence is Atma. So in Jivatma. So when I seek that essence, then essence is functioning through what? The Upadhi, this Shariram, my body or whoever's body. So once this function is established, what do I now rule out? Tyaga. What do I tyaga? What do I leave out? I leave out the changing part, the one that will go away. And yet, when it will go away, I will still be there. I wake up, I'm still there. I sleep, I'm still there. I do any activity, I am still there. So anything that is happening around me, the change is not happening to my essence. So if the essence is changeless, that means we can let go of the physical body. Similarly, with the Lord also, Paramatma. So you will say, not naturally Paramatma, how can he's so huge and all. So again, Upadhi we have to drop. What is his Upadhi? Whole universe. That is his Upadhi. He is functioning through that. So we drop that. Tyag wahan pe kar diya. We let go of his Upadhi. So what is left? Consciousness. And consciousness we have established. We cannot assign a shape to consciousness. Agar shape hota, if shape was there, then we would have been able to see it as an object. And anything that has shape, you can cognize. So if it is uncognizable, that means it has not got a shape. Shape means what? Boundary. Right? Shape means a boundary. You can put something in a boundary. So if that boundary is not there, that means that consciousness is without boundary. That means it is limitless in either directions. So in Atma, actually, directions also merge. Right? So the direction will come from what? From duality. Two things have a connection. So this is on the east, this is on the west, or whatever direction. Right? So in this way, if I hold on to the essence, then I will see that the essence of Atma, Paramatma, and the essence of myself, my Jivatma, is the same. That is the Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So their first identification, I'm not doing with Brahma. Huh? Remember that very carefully. First identification, we always have to do with the Virat Purusha, right? That Virat Purusha. Then later on, later on, when I go internally, I drop the vritti, Aham Brahmasmi also goes away. And then when that Aham Brahmasmi is gone, we shall look at it a bit more of it also today. So once that is gone, then what remains is that Shiva Tattva, that infinite essence, right? The unconditioned, undivided essence. So now, as long as this essence is this connection is established, we are not going to be limited. Our limitations are going away, right? So just like you are, no, when you are in front of a mirror, so you think, I want to check my face. I want to touch and see if there is some mark over here or something as some dust has got here and I go to clean. So will it go to the mirror? It won't. It will go to your own self, right? It will go to your. तो शीशे की तरफ तो नहीं जा रहे ना आप. So that is how when the oneness is achieved, the image is totally, even though appearing, seen as negative, right? Image is still appearing. World will not go away. आपको ज्ञान हो गया, संसार नहीं चला जाएगा. The world will not disappear when I have suddenly got jnanam. So no, it will still be there, but it will be in the negated state. That what I am seeing is just an image, is just a projection of myself. I myself have not entered the mirror. I will not go inside the mirror and check, oh, is my head still stuck there? I don't need to go in there. I naturally know this thing. So once I naturally know this thing, that the Pratibhimbam is not real, the Pratibhimb or the image is just my own reflection. So then we attain that oneness, which is called Pratyak Rupa. Pratyak Atma is the inner soul, the inner Atma. When I establish my identity. Now, what will the first thing that will come after that? First thing that will come after that is I told this earlier also, the grasp of Kalaha, time, will be released. आप काल के परिच्छेद से बाहर हो जाओगे. Why? Because there is no duality. So where does time come in? Time come in when two things are interacting, just like directions. So some relative motion of two things. If there were no motion in the universe, could time be calculated? No, you cannot calculate. The time calculation always comes when two things are in relative motion. That is why we have different time scales. The speed of the moon round the circling of the moon round the earth creates one time scale. The earth around the sun creates another time scale, and so on. So we can even connect to another star also. It will create another time scale. But the one that is most noticeable by us, we use that. And why we use that? Because then it can be used by all the people. I can create a time scale by, keeping some sand in a jar and calibrating it to myself. That will be my time scale. But to make it a bit more universal, we go to the next bigger body, which is visible to all humans. So when you get into that oneness, when you go into what we call Pratyak Rupaha, then that oneness lets you go of the time limitation. Huh? So whenever you say anything has become one with me, मैं के साथ एक हो गया, then in that you are maintaining a duality. I am something, I am one thing, that other is another thing. So there the duality, the time will not go away, Kal will not go away, right? So we saw in the example of the cloth also. So if there is a terracotta cloth and a cotton cloth, then the color on the cloth will be as lasting as long as the life of that cloth. So cotton cloth will last lesser time. The synthetic one will last longer. So similarly, if my association, my coloring is with my own, with the Atma, then Kal has no entity. Kal is not even an entity for the Atma. So once that oneness is established, Pratyek Rupta is established, then Kal will cease to disturb me. It will cease to disturb me in any way possible. I will watch the play of Kalaha. I will watch it with the natural way, how everything is changing. But I will see it as applying to the body. And so, therefore, the body will come and go. I will not be worried about that. And once that oneness is established in my mind, I will not be again born even to have a body because I have given up the body identification. Right. So it involves a lot of other factors, but that is the first one and the most important one. Right. So the body identification. This is something Bhagwan Shri Krishna, he taught Arjuna also. He taught him to do this upasana of me, myself as Virat Purusha, myself as that huge form that he took. So when he took that, then to show him, that it is me only within whom everything is functioning. Because earlier, what was Arjuna's condition? What was his condition? He was afraid. डर लग रहा है. He was saying, यदि वा ना जयम, यदि ना वो जयेयु, they win or will we win? And even if that happens, then what is the other second fear? The second fear is that if we defeat them, after killing my own family, I will not be able to enjoy. I will not be able to enjoy any of the spoils of victory, you can say. That was his fear. So, because I don't want to kill my relatives and I also don't want to die myself, so therefore I don't know whether to indulge in this war. And because I see of everything of myself as different from me, I see everything in the world as different from me, that will create fear. So Vedas say, Dvityat bhayam bhavati. Wherever there is duality, fear will come. That is why we tend to separate anything from us that can bring that mortality. We don't want to die. We all want to live permanently, right? So therefore we try to separate death from us. But will it separate from us? No. It will only go away when I give up that avached, I give up that power that Kala has over me. And that can come in this way only. So when he took that Virat Rupa, then Bhagwan, he said, Kalu Asmi, Lokakshaya Krita Pravriddha. So he said that I am of the form of Kala only. Why are you afraid now? Now you are inside me. You are not even outside me. So you can see that if you are inside me, you are not separate from me. So the moment you separate from me, your fear of Kala will come. So now you are afraid of death. Mrityu ka bhaya hai. So mrityut bhaya bhavati. So now you become Kala Rupaha. You yourself become Kala. You yourself become time. Then, so that is the Virat Upasana that he's asked Arjuna to do. See yourself in me, surrounded by me, and nothing else without me. No, you have no existence without me. So once that is established, his fear was gone. Right? Because after, before till that 11th chapter, when this vision was shown to Arjuna, till that for him it was a theory only. But now it became an experience. He has actually seen the Virat form of the Lord. The Lord had to give him special eyes to see that. He could see, and then Sanjay also saw. Right? So they were able to see that Virat Rupa. So once that is seen, the fear goes away. So that is only called that Virat Upasana, becoming one with that. So once that hold of time is lost, you get what is called, there is a word used in Chandogya Upanishad, Bhuma, Bhuma Rupta. So Bhuma Rupta is that understanding yourself as without any conditioning. All different words, don't get confused. It means essentially letting go of all the divisions that you perceive within you or within you and the universe. Right? So this is called the Virat Purusha Prapti. So in this Virat Purusha, we have to be very, very careful that when we are talking about the oneness with the aham or the ego sense, I have to instantly understand as that infinite ego, the ego of the Atma, the seeing myself as Atma and not as this limited being. So this is clarified in a lot of places also. I'll share just some shloka I have written down. Wait a second. Okay. So, so this is by Abhinav Gupta of Kashmir Shaivism. Uh, so he's one of the real big powerhouses. A lot of his works are available only in Sanskrit only till now. Not too many translations done. So I'll just explain it to you. What does he say? Sad ansha chid anshe, chid ansha mud anshe, mud anshe niranshe, turiye vilapya. Param shambhum eva अविषेद अप्रमेय प्रमेय प्रमाण प्रमात्री prakasham. So first he says what? Sad anshe chidansham. So sat is the existence, the reality, and chid is the consciousness. So if anything that you are looking at, it has a existence. Hai, this cup is, this book is. So everything has that sat ansha. Now that sat ansh can only be known when I have this faculty of knowledge, jnana. I have the capability to know. So that means what is sat ansh is can exist only with consciousness only. So it is indifferent from chid ansha, sat ansham, chid ansha, chid anshe. So if without that existence faculty, jnanam also cannot be there without, because you cannot know if something, if it is not there. Hona to padega na. It has to be there, then you can know. So these are closely intertwined, inseparable, you can say. Right. So now, once this connection is established, what can the object that you are perceiving do? What can the object? It can give you joy, ananda, right? So therefore, that chidanshe is again taken into that chidanshaha is also ananda. It is also in the same way anandansha, right? So sadanshe, chidanshe, mudanshe. So that mud is modaha, mod means ananda, right? Mod is ananda.
So, but
That
it can give sorrow also, no?
yes, we'll come to that also. Yes.
Mm.
So it can give sorrow also. Very right. You have preempted the conversation. Very good. So now this gyan is so now we can say something is giving out there is a perfume, a scent coming from something. Badhiya khushbu aa rahi. And it is giving you joy, right? So now sugandhi or that good essence will give you joy. So that means I got the gyan, I got the knowledge of sugandha, and that gave me ananda. Or any other good thing, let us take first. Anything positive, something good to eat. I will say rasgulla, you will say something else. So whatever it is there. So whatever you like to eat, that will give you joy, right? So now here three things are connecting: the jnanam, the existence, and the joy, right? Now you will again say this thing about the bad smell, right? Bad smell, that बदबू भी तो आती है, बदबू का भी ज्ञान होता है, सड़े करेले का ज्ञान होता है. So any negative thing can also come. So there ananda is not there, right? But there also ananda is there. So it will come more in detail in the fourth part. But here, if we can just look at it in a rough way, we call it abhav gyan, right? Something that is not there, it can create its opposite joy. It can create the opposite joy. So just like that durgandha is there, it can create in you the faculty of desiring for that khushbu. It can create by its presence the desire for the opposite. So like there was a person, he went to the doctor and he was told that you have sugar. आपको sugar होगी. So you have to be very, very careful. मीठा totally बंद हो गया. So my favorite rasgulla, he also cannot eat. So now what is happening is he he found out a way to somehow get that taste. How did he do? Not saccharine, no. So he took some. He went to a Vaidya and he gave him some pudiya to eat. And then what was that? That was trifala, harad, bahed, avla. Four very, very bitter things. Yeah. And he mixed them up. So now he would eat this uh, mixture. And then after that, anything that he ate, it will appear sweet because it was already so bitter. Anything else he ate, it would appear sweet. So by the presence of something negative also, we get the experience of something different from this will give me joy. Right. So in that way, Ananda. Right. But and in another sense, Ananda, what? Rag and dvesh, you understand. So rag is attachment, dvesh is aversion, right? So something can give you joy. You bring closer to it, it will give you joy. Something can give you pain or something that you don't like. That you call dvesha. So it's going away from you will give you joy. Someone is constantly arguing with you, someone you don't like to talk with. When that person goes away, you will be happy just by his not being there, right? Just by so even in non-presence can give you joy, right? So that is how it happens in both ways, presence and non-presence, or in the experience of something negative. We have in ourselves the feeling that there is something that is of the opposite nature that exists, which we should seek to strive for, right? So in this way, we have to go into that. So now Ananda Anshaha. What about this Ananda Anshaha now? This Anand Ansha, it goes inside. We feel that Ananda. Yeah. So now, whenever we feel anything inside us, it is through what? It is through a thought. मेरे अंदर एक वृत्ति जाती है, right? But when we are talking about that pure Ananda, can you split it into parts? Just like you can't split consciousness into parts, that Ananda also it doesn't have parts. It is Niransha. That is what he said here. Ananda Ansha, Niransha. Right? So inside this Aham, there is no. Is the sharing okay? No, you are able to see on screen this one, Sadansha, Jidansha.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So now this Anand Ansha, we are moving towards the undivided nature of all of these. So that is Anand Ansha Niransha, right? So in the Aham, in the ego, or in my essence, there is no divisions. Yeah? So that Ansha Kalpana, this imagination of divisions or parts within anything is negated once we reach our inner source, or once we reach the inner joy. And once we internalize the experience of joy into us, right? So now, Abhinav Gupta ji was very careful. So he says, just that so that you don't think of this aham, this ego sense as the individual ego. So he says what? That he says that ego that we are talking about is turiyam vilapya. You have to merge it into that turiya. That means that we are talking about the turiya atma, the infinite atma, and not about the individual aham. That is what he is clarifying here. So merge your niranshaha, your undivided nature into turiyam. Vilapya is to merge, to dissolve. That vilapya will apply to all. Sadansha, chidansha, vilapya, chidansha, mudansha, vilapya, and so on. Right? So once we have done that, the Turyam is what? We have three avasthas, three states, right? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. And then Turiya is the one who remains
Beyond.
unchanged through all three, right? All three. So I exist in all three avasthas. So that is Turiya. So Turiya is not a separate fourth state we saw earlier also. Turiya is something that goes through all of the states and lets us know that I, the Atma, am the witness of all these traits, all these three states, and therefore I can exist without these states also. I can still be there above and beyond all these three states. Because these states, they cancel each other out. They cancel each other out. Like in Swapnaha, the Jagrit Avastha is cancelled. Yeah, there is no knowledge of Jagrit Avastha. So I go into a dream and I am watching a beautiful scenery in front of me, and I am also having a wonderful cup of coffee or some food in an exotic place. So when I wake up, is it there? It is not there, right? So Jagrit is negating Swapnaha. Swapnaha is negating Jagrit, right? Same way in Sushupti also, Sushupti will negate both of these, right? Sushupti will negate. And of course, Sushupti is negated in Jagrit and Swapna also, individually also. So in any case, all of these avasthas, all of these states, they are negated in the other state. Yeah. But what is never negated? That is Atma, myself, Turiya, Aham. So that is what he's saying. Turiyam Vilapyaham. Always merge that Turiya into that. Hmm. So once we know that we have merged that Turiya there, then the conditions are changing. Then what is the next stage? Param Shambhu Vilapya. So next we go into Param Shambhu. So there is Shambhu and Param Shambhu. What is the difference? Now Shambhu is the consciousness, right? But the consciousness at the level of reflected consciousness, the one that is functioning through the world. And Param Shambhu is the one, the conditioning, the consciousness without any conditional. So name is different, but you don't need to be confused. You can call that Param Shambhu as the uh, undivided or unconditioned consciousness, right? So now, what we are saying is, what about this Param Shambhu? This is not this is aprameyam. Param Shambhu aprameyam. What does aprameyam mean? It
Very
means it is
beautiful.
not the subject of any thought. उसको
Mm.
किसी thought से describe नहीं कर सकते. We cannot make it the subject of any thought. That is so that is what we call the Brahmakar Vritti. Aham Brahmasmi. Right? So that is what we have to make. So in this Brahmakar Vritti has been very carefully analyzed by a lot of our wise men in our tradition. And what have they reached? What conclusion they have reached is that this Vritti is making itself. There is a object of this Vritti also. Every thought will have an object, right? So this cup is generating a thought. There is a cup outside. Right. Similarly, Brahmakar Vritti will also be generating. It has a prameya. It has a subject. Sorry, it has an object. There is an object for that Brahmakar Vritti. That is Shambhu. That is the conditioned consciousness. Even though it is without any parts, I am able to describe it or know it when I do any kind of experience. जब भी मुझे कोई experience होता है ना, whenever I do any kind of cognition, any kind of cognition, then what can I go back to? I can go back to that I am the witness. So that is Shambhu. That is the consciousness which I derive or understand that it is existing. I understand that it is existing from the experience itself. But ultimately, what will Brahmakar Vritti do? It will drop. In Samadhi, it will drop. Yeah. So that Vritti is dropped, that means what will happen? Now there is nothing to describe, only my true Swarupam remains. That is the Param Shambhu. That is the total unconditioned consciousness. So Turiyam Vilapyah Param Shambhu Eva Misham Avam Eva Vished Aprameyam. It has to be understood that the Turiam is ultimately in its essence the unconditioned consciousness, Param Shambhu. Right? So therefore, this Param Shambhu Rupta, this Param Shambhu way of thinking of myself, it comes with a lot of practice. It comes with a lot of practice. Every time that we do any vyavahara in the world, it involves our sense organs. So once our sense organs are, acting anywhere in the world, then this anything that the sense organs are observing is unreal. So therefore, my thought is on that only. My thought is on the object. That is why I tend to objectify the consciousness also. So therefore, this thing will come with only a lot of practice. So abhyasena and vairagya, which we saw. So now once we have entered that, this Virat Purusha, this, sorry, Shambhu Rupa. So there can still be a confusion. There can be one more confusion that can come here, which we need to solve, which has been solved here. So how is it solved? So the Buddhists say that there is no Param Tattva, Shunya hai, right? So for them, the ultimate truth is non-existence, right? Over the period of time, because of our debates, the debates of our Hindu gurus and all, they have refined that Shunya now to, to an essence that is beyond the comprehension of the human mind. So ultimately, what they started with saying as non-existence has in a way become same thing only. So that is the beauty of our tradition. If someone is going the wrong way, we go into debate with them and we make them correct that. So even though his ego is not letting him give up that word shunya, shunya means zero, clearly. है ना? शून्य का मतलब कुछ नहीं है. But ultimately, if you read modern books, modern works, they have defined that. So that is what we are again talking about. That that doubt can be there that when everything has been negated, सब कुछ negate कर दिया, then maybe nothing is remaining. कुछ तो है ही नहीं. Nothing is there. That can be possible. So here what Abhinav Gupta ji is saying? Prameya, Praman, Pramatri, Prakasham. So because we can definitely conclude that it is there because there is this Triputi, we call it. Prameya, Pramana, Pramatri. Prameya is what? The object that is being known. Then Praman is what? The instrument, sense organs. And then Pramatri is the knower, right? So first case, the knower is the individual, Jivatma, right? But is the Jivatma a separate entity from the total? No, we saw that. So because Prameya, Praman, Pramatri, Prakasham, there is a consciousness which is knowing all of this. That means it is not nothingness. It can never be nothingness. It will always be a positive essence, right? It can never be an absence of everything. So that is clarified in this here, right? So just, okay. So in this way, Abhinav Gupta has clearly given us this thought process of how we can, through our regular cognitions, connect or make ourselves one with that Pratyagatma, one with that Shambhu Rupaha, so that Shambhu Rupa shines through us in all our transactions. Anything that we are doing, if at least if I remember and try to, focus back, I can see of myself as Atma and all these are changing. Just like I'll give you one example. Let's say someone slaps you. So what is your attention on? That person, his hand touched me. I am angry with that person, right? What is your focus on? Your focus is on the anatma, something outside of me that has touched me, and therefore, but what can I do instead? I can focus on myself as Shambhu Rupa, Param Shambhu Rupa. So when I shift, because who am I? I am a Chetan Atma. I am a conscious entity. So once I once I shift my attention to a conscious entity, and this conscious entity has undergone an experience of touch. एक touch हुआ है. That touch, this has experience. I leave out that. Then what will happen? I will be free. I will not be tied. Because if I focus on who has slapped, then that slap will become a memory in my mind and it will generate samskaras, it will generate revenge, it will generate anger and the full chain. So that one slap can get me back into samsara and get me back into rebirth. So I have to learn not just this slap or anything, any touch, any experience in the world, I should learn to separate the point of how I'm looking at myself, the way I'm looking at myself. That is what our focus should be, right? And you can apply it to all the senses, all the touch, smell, nose, everything. Something I like to eat, I form a samskara with it. I like that object. If Yes, Swarupa, want to ask something.
So I was saying that, but it is not practical. If somebody slaps, then how can we like simply think about all this philosophy? Like it's not,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's not
Yes,
practical also.
I
So I
know, I
was,
know. The practical part also is there. Yes. So what is the practical part? Let me ask you today. What is the practical? What would you do?
so अगर कोई मार रहा है, if somebody slaps, then there should be a
Hmm,
reason, and if that reason is like
hmm,
not substantiated, then तो it's no point ना. Without
hmm,
any reason, if somebody slaps, so I
hmm.
should also retaliate. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, but huh.
So you will slap back, ठीक है ना?
Yeah,
या
maybe
slap
yeah.
back करोगे or you
Huh.
will hurt the person in some other way,
Not
right?
slap. At least I would scold, or maybe I will.
Scold. You will
Huh.
display anger, right? You will display anger, right? So again, what I'm telling you is you don't think of yourself as the one who's been slapped. The one who has been slapped will take the reaction. मेरा शरीर मेरा मन उससे जो भी व्यवहार के अनुसार कर रहा है वो करेगा. It, but I will not take that hurt into my mind for permanent lifetime. That is the difference. So you are also right, but this it is also right that the thing is about taking a samskara into mind, right? What kind of samskara you generate? The samskara is something touched me. There was a pain here. I will this is this kind of action. It generates pain in me. I leave it at that. The rest of the that I am not reacting. So I am not holding that samskara in my mind. The buddhi and the man and the buddhi, they will work it out. They will work it out and they will accordingly calmly make. And sometimes you will always work out a better way than direct violence. You will always work out a way, right? So someone has hurt you, like we saw in the case of the Chavan Rishi story. He created a sampragya, we call, in the kids, and they started fighting with them, fighting with each other. So using your intellect, you can always get back or teach that other person a lesson by which he will realize that whatever he is doing is wrong, right? By your intellect, without getting into physical violence. But yes, if physical violence is needed, you do. That is not denied. That is vyavahara. So separate from the paramarthik drishti to the vyavaharik drishti. That is what we have to do. That we have to be very careful, right? So paramarthik to vyavaharik, we have to separate. So now once we have established that there is a positive entity, there is a positive consciousness that is there, prameya, praman, pramatri, prakasham. So therefore, uh, I now our oneness with that Virat Purusha becomes very, very real. It becomes very, very something that no one can take away from you, right? It is logically established in my mind, that oneness. So once that is established, then maybe something might cause a reaction in me. But later when I sit down to reflect, that through reflection, that samskara will also be cleaned. It will move away. Huh? So in this way, I will hold less grudges in my life, with whatever is happening to me. And I will be cool and calm and collected. And it will enhance the quality of my life. Right? So we always should be aware of, something wrong is happening. We should learn to fight back. Because what is happening? I am also living in this world. I am a Chetan Atma and I am functioning through this body. I am also living. So if someone is spreading false narratives, someone is spreading wrong kind of information, it is your duty to correct them. It is your duty. But in correcting, don't get caught and get so emotional in that it takes away your sleep. I have watched online debates, people fighting, and then they will be fighting all night. They will be abusing each other. What purpose? To what purpose? To what end? Huh. Till the concept is there, so you are saying that someone says lesbian and homosexual is natural, someone says it's not natural. Huh. So sorry for being crude, but in that debate, what will happen? Someone will cite some medical paper, someone will cite some psychology. So till the part that the logic is being debated, fine, go ahead. Yeah, prove your point. But once that point is proved, don't get into abuse mode. No, you are an idiot and whatever. So it will take away your sleep. It will take, and you will waste time, right? So if there is something that needs to be negated, you should be socially aware. You are living in this samskar in samsara to make this world a better place because you have a rinam. You have a rinam to this. So you need to you need to bring up children who have good samskaras. You need to yourself have good samskaras. You need to see the people around you. Someone is doing. I have watched, some of the children in my family caught up in that craze of leftism, and I had to literally wean them away. बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ी निकालने में. It's like a deep well, it sucks you in. So therefore, to get the correct samskaras into the children around or the people around us is necessary. But try to do it in a way doesn't affect you. And how do you do that? When I focus on myself as the Chaityansh, as the conscious entity, right? As something that is experiencing this world through the instruments. These instruments can behave or react. In the Gita, there is a verse, there is a beautiful word which describes all the solution to this problem. Guna Guneshu Vartante. Three words. Whenever I look at something happening, I see the gunas, the properties are interacting with each other. I am not interacting. And once I do that, I will be calm. Right? So in this way, we go to that. So now, once you have seen yourself as the illuminator of all of these, Pramratri, Prameya, Pramanam, who is that? The Prakasha, the illuminator. Then that illuminator is understood as the entity that is there. So now, do we have time for a story? It might take us 5 minutes or more. Can we go into that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So now to understand this prakashan or this illumination, right? So in this in very olden times, in there is this Narmada river. So close to that there is a city called Narmapur. Huh? So this is a story from the Skanda Puran, right? So Skanda Puran. So I'm reading some Purana, so I'm finding some nice stories, and I find they they carry a message, especially when you look at it with the Vedanta Drishti. All stories have some Vedantic message if you look know closely enough, right? So now this in this Narmapur there was a man living. His name was Vishwanara. I told you last time also. Whenever you are listening to all of these stories or whenever you are reading these, pay
Names.
attention to the names,
Mm.
right? Pay
Mm.
attention to the names. The name will have a meaning that will give a spiritual meaning to the story. So we have to be aware. So who is this Vishwanara? Remember. So this Brahmana named Vishwanara. He was very dharmic where because in very early age, no, he had a very deep bhakti in Bhagwan Shankara. He used to worship Shivji a lot. So now when time came when he grew up, he was so engrossed in his bhakti, he didn't even want to marry. But then his elders and his gurujan, they convinced him that it is not good to, you are a part of society. It is your duty to enter into domesticity, create some good resources for the world, which is what a grihastha must do. So they asked him to marry. So then they chose a wife for him. Wife was Suchishmati. Suchishmati. Huh? So, and she was also an ardent devotee of Bhagwan Shankar. Huh? So, why, our elder people used to do this thing? They used to search for something that is common interest, right? So, because, till how much time will the attraction last? No, that I look at you and you look at me. It's not going to last forever. There will be a complementing. So you are doing something that is different from her. She is doing something different from you. That will create an interest. You have something to converse about. कुछ बात करने का टॉपिक भी तो होना चाहिए. And there must be a common interest also. Otherwise, there will be clash. So, common interest, most important one is religion. Religion, or more specifically, Ishta Devta. If Ishta Devta is same, no, that creates a lot of gelling because they can together share a lot of stories and of their inner experiences whenever they do worship. So it creates a good bonding. So now these two had very, very deep love for each other. So now, because they were very, very uh, involved with each other, they thought that they should have a child. So for a woman, the her completion is when we say purnatvam is when matritva comes, when motherhood comes. So therefore, that desire for having a child is very, very natural. So Vishwanara said that, look, I know we have tried a lot, we haven't had a child. So I will go to Kashi and I will do upasana of Bhagwan Shankar over there. Because it is said that if you go there and do upasana, there is nothing that he will not give to you. Huh? So everything is attained through Shiva upasana, right? So now mm, he went there and he started doing the sadhana of Bhagwan Shiva. He reached there and he would do the Abhishekam of the Lord for all 4 times, early morning, then in the afternoon, evening, and late night. So 4 times Abhisheka he would do regularly, the full Abhisheka. It takes a lot of time. And for 13 months, he was continuously doing this puja here. And then one day, suddenly after doing puja, a child appeared. Appeared to come out of nowhere. And he said, my name is Vireshwara. So this, now Vishwanara was rubbing his eyes. He was surprised. How did he suddenly come? So he said, don't worry. I have been sent by Bhagwan Shiva to take care of your desire. So he said, according to your karmas, according to your natural, this birth, what was achievable to you or what was supposed to be given to you, you cannot have a child, right? You cannot have a child. But it is said, I said earlier also, that there are two pravaha, there are two kinds of streams, right? One is karma pravaha. Karma pravaha is where you get the fruit of your actions according to your karmas, right? And other is kripa pravaha, where you go prostrate before the Lord. And then if your prostration, your love is sincere and with a lot of effort, then he can give you things beyond what is normally available to you through your karma phala. So just like going to our parents, right? A parent does not say, you have done this amount of work and you will get only this amount of money or resources or whatever. When we go in front of our parents, we can ask for anything and they will give to a certain limit. So whatever is good for us. So therefore, this kid appeared and he said that, look, I will go with you, but I as myself, so this kid is 13 years old. This kid is 13 years old. So he said that what will happen is, I myself will take birth in your wife's womb as a little child. And therefore, after that, you can raise me up as your own son. So he went back, and when he reached home, then after some time, wife became pregnant, and the child was born to them. Vishwanar, his son was Vaishwanar. So there is in the Sanskrit a rule like Vish. If you add usually from a father's name, if you derive a son's name, just like Dashrath, you add an R to the first word, or if there is a sandhi, the matra will modify itself. So Dashrath Putra is Darsharath. So Vishwanar Putra is Vaishwanar, right? So Vaishwanar was his son. So now this kid, he slowly grew up. He was 5 years old. His Yagyopavit was done because he's a Brahman son. So now, because this Yagyopavit is done because you are ready to go enter into the study of the Veda. So those days, 5 years was the ideal age. Today, people are doing 20, 25 years also. At the time of marriage, they are doing Yagyopavit. One of my friends, he was telling about this, that at the age of 24, his parents took him. And the Pandit literally threw that when he asked his age. He said, Itna bada ho gaya, abhi karoge kya? Now he doesn't have the capacity to absorb Vedic knowledge. So he said, no, you can't do it. So earlier it was this 5 years they used to start it. But it went up to 11 also. It was not a fixed rule. But the earlier the better. So now this Yagyopavit Samskara was done. and this child was they started teaching him the Vedas. And then slowly, when he was such a precocious child, no, very brilliant child, then that what happened was, by the time of the age of 8, he had memorized all the Vedic texts, all the Vedas he had memorized. Right. So now, uh, because this child was so special, his fame spread far and wide. And then one day, Devarshi Narad, he passed that way, and he heard about this child, and he went to meet this child, and he started examining the child. There is a shastra called Samudrik Shastra. By that, in that we can observe the what we call the signals, lakshana, and through Lakshanam, we can tell about the qualities of a person. So very wise people know that. Today, I don't know if anyone knows that. So through that, when Narad Rishi saw this child, he said that this child is very, very special. I am amazed that how Lord Brahma can create a child with, such perfection. There must be some imperfection, something which I am not able to spot. And then suddenly he noticed one more Lakshana, and then he said, yes, there is a problem. I said, what is the problem? He said, your child's age is going to be maximum 13 years. So remember that child, he was 13 years. So, so he said your maximum age will be 13 years. And at the end of 13 years, he will die from a Vajrapat, from uh, death by electrocution, lightning. And so now the child was said to die of lightning, but the parents literally died there of lightning itself. It struck them so badly. They were very, very worried. Such a nice child they have been given, and they were looking to spend a long lifetime with that. And then suddenly this has happened. So now he said that your putraha, your son is sreshtaha, but now he has to go at the age of 13 years. So the child who was there, he was listening, Sunra. So he came up to the children and said, why are you getting so sad? This death is going to come for anyone with a body. जो भी देह वाला है, मृत्यु आनी है. So why is to be sad? And they were very surprised at his maturity. And they said, son, that's okay. But you don't understand. We have, you have been given to us. We have been given you by after so much of puja, part, and so much of parayana. Right? So for us, losing you is not easy. So he said, look, uh, there is nothing to worry about. If this is only your wish that you want me to be there, I will win death. मैं मृत्यु को जीत के लाऊंगा. So they were surprised how this young, how confidently, कैसे, how will you win over death? So he laughed. So he said, look, you don't worry. Uh, I am going to do something. So then he went there. He said, I have to go back to the place where you got me from. जहां से आप मुझे लेके आए थे, वहां पे मुझे जाना है. So he said, I will go there. So he also reached Kashi, and then he would do the same Abhishekam that his father used to do, but in a more detailed manner, with using 108 pots of all these offerings, like ghee and milk and whatever. And then with later on, he will do Abhishekam with 1008 blue lotuses. And with all the Ved Samhita part, all the Vedic mantras, he would chant. So ultimately, he received darshanam, he opened his eyes, and there he saw Indra Bhagwan has come. He said, I was not even asking for Indra Bhagwan, I was doing tapasya of Shankar Bhagwan. How suddenly Indra Bhagwan come? So Indra Bhagwan said, I am very happy with the tapasya, so whatever you want, you can ask from me. So Vishwanar said, I don't want to ask anything from you. I want the person I wanted to ask from, he is different from you. I want to ask from Shiva only. So I will not ask anything from you. I don't need anything from you. Of course, if you want me to do anything for you, आप चाहते हो मैं आपकी सेवा करूं, कुछ कर सकता हूं, तो मैं करने को तैयार हूं. If you want me to serve you, I will do that. So Indra got very angry. He said, I am Devadi Dev. So again, Vishwana said, no, I cannot ask from you because I have made the sankalpa. Na? I have made the sankalpa. I will ask from Mahadev only. So there, Devraj Indra, he took his Vajra. He took his lightning rod and he flashed it, and Veshwanar was suddenly he fainted. Huh, fainted. So now, after some time, he felt someone caressing his hair. And then he eyes opened and he saw Bhagwan Shankar Sakshat. He was there. Oh, Chandramauli Swarupaha. So he said, by that Indra was no one else but me. But because my sankalpa is Satya Sankalpa, whatever I say has to happen. Whatever I've decided will happen. I cannot change it even myself. Right. So you were supposed to die of lightning. So therefore, now I have killed you by lightning. And now I have again made you alive. So now you have won over Mrityu. You have won over Mrityu. Hmm. So in this way, he said, now from now on, you will be the owner of this Agne Disha. There are 10 directions, basically four and two. So east, west, north, south. In so this south and west, the direction in between them, that is called the Agneya Disha. So this is the direction he gave to him. It will be in your name, the Agneya Disha. So he said, and you can go back to your parents and they will be happy to welcome you back. Right. So in this way, Vaishvanar become the holder of that Agneya Disha. So now what is the essence of this story? So what is being said here? So what the person who is living in all beings, that is called the Brahmand Deha, the universal body, that is Vishwanara. Vishwanara means Vishwanara, the one who is residing in all bodies. So that is Vishwanara, the father, mind you, the father. And then his wife is whom? Suchishmati, pure buddhi, pure intellect. So through pure intellect only, the upasana of that Brahmand Deha can be done. That is their union. That is their marriage. Through pure through a pure intellect only, that upasana of Brahmand Deha can be done. So that buddhi or that pure buddhi, it can absorb the tejas, it can absorb the fire of that Paramatma, right? Only because of its purity. So that is his vivaha. And then because you see yourself as the the Virat Brahmand Deha, it is entered by whom? It is entered by the Purusha, the Virat Purusha, Virajo Adi Purusha. So that is represented by the Vaishvanar Agni. The Vaishvanar is the sun. That Vaishvanar Agni, that is in the form of knowledge. Gyan Agni Swarup is Vaishvanar. Vaishvanar Agni is the Gyan Agni, right? So that is present in every being as the internal essence or the antaryam, right? So therefore, that this upasana is what? This is Virat Purush upasana. This is Virat Purush. Earlier one was Brahmand De upasana, Vishwanaraha and Suchishmati. And this is the Virat Purushaha upasana. Right. And now, once this upasana is being done, then what will happen? The lightning flash will come. Lightning flash is what? The knowledge, it settles in your mind like a flash and it reveals its true nature very, very clearly. Vidyut is always associated in the Veda with a very fierce clarity of knowledge, which will then never leave you, right? That is that Vidyut. So once that is established, Jnanam is made available, and that is what is represented by Vaishvanara being struck by that lightning. And what will that happen? That once I'm struck by that lightning of pure knowledge, then I become eternal. मैं मृत्यु को जीत लेता हूं. He won over death, right? He will not die again now. So that represents that Virat Purusha. When we attain that oneness with that Virat Purusha, I go beyond the hold of Kalaha, or I go beyond the hold of death, right? This is the story. Okay. So we'll wind up for now. Taken a bit extra time today. I think we started late also. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Tat Sat. Okay.